All right, I wanted to show you how to create a time series animation in QGIS. So I've got the counties for my state in Maryland, and I've also got some coronavirus data. Now, the data for my state is incomplete at the moment. So you can see we have the number of deaths are recorded, but not early on. So we're still trying to get that data from the state. They do have the number of cases, but I've always felt like deaths and hospitalizations are a better representation of the data to see what's really happening. But if we scroll way down, you can start to see on around April 17th, we have uh, recording of deaths for the state as well as each individual county. So that's a shapefile. I'm just going to drag that in here, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to rename this. We'll call it COVID. That makes it a little more understandable. And if we open this up, you can see I have our regions, our dates, and the number of deaths. So I can sort this, right? We can sort it by date as well because that's an actual date field. Another table I have are the actual county boundaries. So for every county, every shape in the county, I need to get all of the different dates for when there was to categorize the deaths. So for instance, Montgomery County had 110 deaths on on the 22nd, but if we scroll down through, you can see Montgomery County is also listed later on. So here they are again on the 21st, and then we can go down further, right? So here it is on the 20th. So each day there's a new representation of the number of deaths. So what I've got to do is basically duplicate this information to get started with the heat map, or zoom out the heat map with the time series map. So to do this, I'm going to go into the database manager, the DB manager, and I'm going to select all the data from the counties, right? So all the geometries, the number of deaths that come from the COVID database, and the date as well from the two layers where the name, the county name, is equal to the region name that's in the COVID database. And we're going to do it for those areas where the date is greater than April 16th. So in this example, we're going to have the date for Montgomery County listed a whole bunch of times. Well, in our case, not a whole bunch, about 5 times. I'm waiting to get more data. So let me execute this. And that completed, and you can see we have all the records. So there's a whole bunch, and I'm going to create a brand new layer out of this. And again, I'm not going to bother sorting it, but you'll see these counties are in here multiple times like we were trying to do earlier. So now I've created a new layer called deaths. I'm going to say load. And now the deaths are in here. And if I click on each, or actually if I just open it up, you can see, open up the attribute table. And now I have 144 records because there's a whole bunch of counties. But again, counties like Montgomery County are listed multiple times. So I'm using a QGIS plugin called Time Manager. So I've just added that. And what this is going to do is allow us to add time controls. And if I come under my plugins, I can go to Time Manager, and I'm going to toggle the visibility of that Time Manager. And I'll look at deaths. Actually, before we do deaths, the first thing we want to do is change the symbology. So let's make this a graduated color for deaths. And let's do equal intervals. There we go. This number is too much, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change things. We'll go to 2. Actually, we'll make this 3, and I'll change the color a little bit. Let's choose a different color for this one, and maybe make it a lighter pink, something like that. Maybe a little bit lighter. Yeah, something like that. That's probably, yeah, even a little bit more won't hurt. That's better. The next thing I'll do is I'll go under settings, and I'm going to have to add a layer. And we're going to add the layer deaths, and the start time is going to be the date, and the end time same as the start time, and we'll just leave it at that, and that's done. And now I'll just hit that, and now we can start to run this. So it's going to start from the 17th and go till the 22nd. Let's move this here. My time frame, you can set that to be number of days. So we'll let this run, and here you can start to see, again, it's been a short amount of days, but we're able to then create a time series and then create an output of those records.